Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping.
And we welcome you to Warrior Coliseum for what's shaking out as a fantastic ball game here across Texas high school football. The Pieper Warriors have had no equal throughout this early campaign, 6-0, 3-0 in district play. But if there is a team that maybe can come up into Pieper High School and potentially knock them off, why not it be a team that's also 3-0 in district play, 5-1 overall? We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Noah Torr alongside. And Noah, when you look at this ball game, look, Pieper's going to beat and look very impressive against most teams they face. But we come into this ball game with a Unicorn squad that is coming in its own right with an impressive season as well.
The Unicorns have been fantastic this season, especially because they've got a new head coach and they've got a new quarterback. Last year's starting quarterback, Leighton Adams, was awesome. He's off now at ACU doing his thing. Now they've got Clayton Namkin, the senior who's actually committed to go and play baseball at Texas State. Football's his second sport, and he's still really good at it. It doesn't matter if it's his second sport. He has thrown 12 touchdowns this season, and he's 79 for 100. He's only got 4 interceptions. In fact, you look at his stats, and he is wildly similar to Caden Keith. Caden Keith, 101 for 141, 72% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Their stats are almost identical, except for the fact that Keith has thrown a couple more of these touchdown things. He's thrown a few more. He's thrown a few of those. But this is going to be a fantastic game. I can't wait. It might be a magical game. That feels right, considering they're the Unicorns.
I think love what you did.
That was
there.
good. Yeah.
I think when you look at the quarterback comparison, especially Noah, and you talk about the quarterback rating of Caden Keith, Max Preps does a nice job of coming up with quarterback rating 143
Unreal.
for the season. It's ridiculous. That's, if you're NFL, that's Hall of Fame type stuff. That's MVP type level stuff. So Pieper set to kick off. The Unicorns will get the ball first, and a chance for their offense to try to, if not match, at least somewhat keep up with this very high-powered Pieper offense of its own. But the Pieper D going to take the field, first. Through the back of the end zone, first and 10 at the 25 is where the Unicorns will start on this opening possession.
I know we're going out on defense. One more thought on Caden Keith, just because he's the man. Caden Keith is uncommitted right now. He is uncommitted to a college team. That is unreal. So I know we're not biased here on Pieper Warriors Network, but, there is potentially a little bit of a lean, but not to say that there is a lean or an unbiased, whatever. Somebody give that man an NIL deal. That man he's going to make some college coach very happy someday.
Well, it's interesting. I've had a chance to chat with head coach Nick Rogers a couple of times during the season, and in our first conversation, I said, hey, how many offers do you have across the board? He said, surprisingly, not a whole lot. It's something we'll talk about throughout the broadcast. On the first play of the ball game, it's a give to Brock Stewart. Comes around right, and the sophomore running back not able to get much, maybe a yard, if even that. So second and let's call it 9 coming up for the Unicorns.
Caleb Gale was right in the mix on that alongside Bennett King. Bennett King, one of the safeties of that 3-high defense that Pieper runs. Pieper runs a 3-3-5, which means that in the middle, everything gets contained and funneled into the middle, and they try to contain on the outside and the back, which is going to force Namkin and the Unicorn offense to stay short.
Napkin fakes to give. RPO comes right. They were looking to maybe throw Pieper off by faking a give to Caden Mills. Their Caden superstar standout, number 0 for New Braunfels. Keep an eye on him. Certainly a player to watch on the Unicorn hand. But Napkin keeping, it's going to bring up 3rd and let's call it 5, depending on the spot. They're at the 34. They need to get to the 29, I should say. They're at the 29. They need to get to the 35. So let's call it 3rd and 6. Even I can do that math. 3rd and 6 for the Unicorns here at the 29.
You got it. It's a little bit far away, but we both have our glasses on, so I feel like we'll be able to take care of it.
The eyesight especially progressively getting worse as the age increases. Namkin shotgun, twins to his right. He's looking to his left. A little bit of a stutter step, coming right. Now looking that way, lets it go, and overshoots his intended receiver, Grant Franklin.
Grant Franklin ran a great post route over off to the right sideline. Namkin forced out of the pocket, flushed out by that fantastic D-line for Pieper, and forced a very fast 3-and-out. Piper's going to get the football with 10 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's what they do. Cole Redding, he was in the ball game moments ago to receive the opening kickoff. He also handles punting duties for the Unicorns. So he's standing at his own 15 as the Unicorns will kick it away on 4th and 6 from their own 29-yard line.
Punting's always a little dicey in 5A.
It is, isn't it?
Not this time.
Oh, that's a good kick. A little bit of a spiral. Takes a huge New Braunfels bounce. Initially hit the ground at right around the 45 of Pieper, and New Braunfels is going to kill it at the 14.
Holy cow. He kicked that from the 29-yard line all the way to the 14. Well, he didn't kick it that far, but the ball rolled that far. I'm going to give it to him.
It's all that matters. That's all that matters in the end is how far the ball went. Now, they're bringing it. They're going to say that a New Braunfels Unicorn touched it.
Wow.
So never mind. They're going to take it at their own 46. What a break for the Warriors.
Huge break, because now they have a short field to play off of, starting on the 44. Caden Keith and company only have to go they have to go, 54 yards. It's not bad.
Well, Noah, speaking extensively about Keith, here he is on first down to hand to Brady Hopper, coming across 50 into New Braunfels territory and near first down yardage on 1st and 10.
Brady Hopper, the starting running back, the bell cow for the Pieper offense, but not the leading rusher. That belongs to John Hamilton. Those two go back and forth in the backfield next to Caden Keith.
Yeah, as Pieper does, hurrying up on offense. 2nd down, and let's call it 2. Again, Hopper. The give 2, not much there. He might, he'll be a yard shy. I was going to say, depending on the spot, he might have gotten there, but they're going to say his knee was down at the 45 of New Braunfels.
That New Braunfels defense, normally they play a 3-4 with 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. They switched this week to go 3-3-5, equal on both sides of defensive formations for Pieper and New Braunfels.
On 3rd and 1, Hopper again. No, not Hopper.
Yes, Hopper.
It was Hopper.
It's okay.
Trying to see if you're paying attention at home.
It was a quiz.
Hopper with his 3rd carry of the game. He came in 48 carries, 276 yards on the ground. As Noah mentioning, though, not the leading rusher. Over the middle, they were looking for Isaiah Champagne, incomplete on the quick slant.
Rare drop from Champagne. He's the favorite target of Keith. He's got almost 86 yards per game. Every time he plays a football game, he's going to get 86 yards. And a lot of the times, that comes from super long routes, super long touchdown snags. Watch for that at least at some point in tonight's matchup.
Caden Keith with trips to his right. He pitches. Here's Hopper coming toward us, but met by a host of New Braunfels uniform defenders, and so a 3rd and long awaits Pieper here on its first possession of the ball game.
So far from the Pieper offense.
Well, Pieper gets to, specifically Hopper and that offensive line, they get to the 37. That's where they'll mark it. So 4th and 8. The Warriors will go here at the New Braunfels 37. Keith again trips to the top of the field. He's got Isaiah Champagne alone to the bottom side, looking towards Champagne. Now looking over the middle. Now going right. Still has the ball, keeps. He's got first down yardage.
Caden Keith, he's got some wheels. He was looking for Isaiah Champagne. He then looked for Evan Drake. He was looking for a couple of guys, and then he scrambled out to his right, and it was just meep off to the right side. Caden Keith, first down. Pieper Warriors keep on marching. That's probably why Nick Rogers wasn't worried. That checks out. That makes sense.
Keith with over 200 yards rushing coming into the ball game, 205 specifically on 24 carries. Looking to pass here. Champagne, that one, Isaiah not able to hold on to it.
2 rare drops to start it for Isaiah Champagne. Granted, those were some hard throws that Keith has given him so far, but both of those fell right in the breadbasket. And to quote my middle school football coach, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it.
You got to catch it. You got to catch it.
I don't know if they still say that. I don't play football. I just talk about it.
Variations of it. Take you through another saying that has to do with football and hands here in a bit. Shotgun formation, twins to each side for Keith. Goes left, and again looking for Champagne. Again, they're not able to connect.
That switch for the New Braunfels defense is clearly working with head coach Brad Mulder. He was talking about how they run that 3-4, but he said his cornerbacks were getting beat on the outside last week against Bernie Champion. They won that game, but his cornerbacks were getting beat. They switched to now 3 high safeties, 2 cornerbacks, and that help on the outside is clearly working.
Noah mentioning a little earlier, Brad Mulder, his first year with New Braunfels. Over the middle slant, again unable to connect. A 4th attempt, a 4th target for Champagne, and so far 0 for 4 for Caden Keith.
And it might be a mix of both New Braunfels defense playing really well, and Caden Keith almost looks like he's playing with some nerves, which this is a big game, but you don't see Caden Keith underthrow the football a lot, but he underthrew that route from Champagne, and it's hard to underthrow a guy who runs a 40 in almost 4.5 seconds, less than 4.5 seconds.
Caden completing 72% of his passes coming in. 4th and 10 at the 26. Here we go. Ball on the turf. He picks it up, goes deep. Champagne's down there, and it's picked. We'll wait to see the official ruling. Yes, it is. Now for New Braunfels, on 4th down, you're almost better off batting that down. You're going to take over 1st and 10 at your own 1.
Landon Jackson, his 2nd INT on the season. running at that outside linebacker position, dropped deep, ran that route step for step. But again, it was great defense by New Braunfels, a perfect route run by the defense, a.k.a. Landon Jackson. Caden Keith, bad snap, had to recover, almost like an arm punt, if you want to call it.
And a big defensive stand for these Unicorns. Not many teams have been able to do that to these Pieper Warriors, especially in the early going. A lot of times, if you see some movement there on the snap, they're going to play on, and that gets going deep. Grant Franklin down there, kind of a jump ball, incomplete, and so we'll wait to see what the official call there is on a penalty.
Looks like it's going to be offside on the Pieper Warrior defense. Unicorns get a little breathing room, moving up to about the 6-yard line, maybe the 7. That's good news.
In most games they've played, the Pieper offense has come out and completely overwhelmed opponents. And so for this New Braunfels D, to get them off the field and give their ball back to the offense, even after the Unicorno had a shot at it, still 0-0, is one of those victories you need inside a game that you hope to come out victorious. Hand up the middle, not much there, so third down, and we'll call it second down and right around 2 following the penalty.
And I don't even know if this is a good take. It was great defense by New Braunfels. It looked like Pieper never got settled on offense. It looked like they were just beating themselves up, and that was why they couldn't score a touchdown.
Brock Stewart again, this time Pieper ready. Leighton Springer at the point of contact.
Oh, Leighton Springer doing some dirty stuff back there. He's got 45 tackles on the season. Coming into this game tonight, 5 tackles for loss. Why not give him another? Just why not? Absolutely blew through that offensive line. There was no running room for Brock Stewart. And now New Braunfels has a crucial 3rd and 3 to try to set the tone against the Warriors.
They're at their own 8. Namkin shotgun. 2 receivers to his right. 1 to the top side. I'm not sure if there was some confusion on that play. Maybe a delayed RPO. Either way, any way you slice it, Pieper with the stop, and here comes the New Braunfels punting unit.
Here's what I'm going to chalk that up to. 2 words: bad decision.
Yeah.
Just bad, just bad decision. That defensive line by the Warriors blew through Namkin. It looked like it was a design handoff. We're not sure if it was RPO design, but either way, not a great play call by the Unicorns to try to catch the Warriors off guard, and they were ready for it. And now they're going to have a short field.
Yeah, in live action, it looked like fair caught on the other end, by the way, the punt. So Pieper will start it right around its own 37-yard line following the fair catch by Andrew Grindstaff. It looked initially to me, Noah, like Namkin was trying to decide and read, am I going to give or am I going to keep? And as he's trying to do that, Brock Stewart took it, or at least had his hands on the ball. And by the time either one could realize, well, what are we going to do here, there was the Pieper defense.
It was chaos.
That's what it seemed like in live action. Could be wrong.
Again, you said it with confidence. I want to believe you.
There we go. That's the key. It's just say it with confidence and things will fall in line. Keith looking for Grindstaff.
Oh.
Andrew reaching up to get it with the left hand, unable to haul it down. Would have been a very tough catch, nearly impossible. So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Warriors at the New Braunfels, 37.
In your conversation before tonight's game with head coach Mulder, he was talking about the offensive line of Pieper and how they're averaging about, 300 pounds. That offensive line so far is getting rattled by the Unicorns' D-line.
Keith. John Hamilton's first carry of the ball game comes left, gets across to 35, so maybe a gain of 3. Yeah, talking about Coach Mulder, Noah, in his first year here with the Unicorns, forever the offensive coordinator for the Clements Buffaloes. Coached one Frank Harris while he was there. First head coaching gig came in Lavernia. He was there for the last 2 years before taking over after Glenn Mangold took over at Central Catholic. 3rd down and 7. Keith looking right, going that way. Grindstaff, complete first down across the 20 and inside the red zone.
Grindstaff, little out route right in the flat. He ran about 5-6 yards past that line of scrimmage, ended up completing that, and then meet Roadrunner up the right side. Grindstaff, those quick legs making some moves.
So a 1st and 10 here at the 18. Keith, well, he was looking maybe fade for Drake. And I think he led Evan a little too long, and so 2nd and 10 coming from the 18-yard line.
Potential miscommunication, too. Evan Drake didn't look like he was hauling it to go get that football, and Keith was expecting him, like you were talking about, a fade all the way almost to that front right pylon. Keith was thinking something, Evan Drake was thinking something, so we'll just do 2nd down.
Drake, the lone receiver, to the far side. Trips to our side. Keith rolling this way. Lets it go. There's Champagne. Nope. I was going to say there's Champagne's first catch of the game, and Isaiah, 5 targets, no receptions thus far.
Isaiah Champagne. Can I use the word disappointing so far? It's the first quarter. Can I use the word disappointing? Isaiah Champagne, a little bit of a disappointment so far. Not to say that he himself's a disappointment. This is not a character assumption, just performance assumption. He's had 5 targets. 3 of those have been decent throws, good throws, and great play call where you've got John Hamilton sweeping to the right, fake toss. Keith rolls out left. Champagne open in the flat. Doesn't happen. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, you can see Isaiah frustrated with himself, talking to himself a little bit on 3rd and 10. Keith lets it go over the middle, hit as he throws, so it falls short in the direction of Champagne. Would have been a 6 target. So 4th and 10 now coming for the Warriors. The New Braunfels D repeatedly forcing this Pieper offense into uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, that was a big boy hit by Catcher Kyle. Also, what a name. Catcher Kyle? Are you kidding me? He caught Keith right in the middle of his throwing motion, hit him as he threw, and Champagne again was the intended target. He was going to run wide open in the middle of that end zone, and now Pieper's going to settle for a field goal. It's going to be about a 36-yard field goal.
Daniel Miranda on to attempt. Snap, hold, kick. No good.
Wow.
Yeah,
we have a bad vantage point then.
I was gonna say I had to wait. I was actually waiting for confirmation from the official. It ended up not being confirmation, and instead just a decision. Period.
That
It looks good from here.
Kicking, punting in 5A football can be kind of tough. That's not a knock on any of the players. That's just kicking and punting, and those special team units, you focus so much emphasis on offense and defense that special teams just kind of gets what you have, and then you end up going for it a lot on 4th. You end up not taking a lot of field goals. So bold call from the Pieper Warriors team, but just trying to get some points on the board.
Unicorns take over at the 15 screen, and that Pieper defense sniffing that out. Nowhere to go for Cameron Pitts.
Cameron Pitts, little wide receiver bubble screen, came on the outside into the middle, trying to get some momentum going, and instead you lose 4 yards, and now it's 2nd and 14. Head coach Mulder was talking about how he wants that offensive unit to go out and stay on the field. He wants them to go and chip away and get about 4 yards every time they make a play. So they're not going for big plays because they know that Pieper defense can control it and contain it, but they're going to try to go for a few plays here and there.
So on 2nd and 13, out here at the bottom of the screen, they're looking for Grant Franklin again. Targeted him several times, but incomplete. And both defenses here early, Noah, really playing well.
Which is a little bit surprising, not because Pieper has a bad defense. They're a great containing defense. You're not going to look at the stat sheet and go, wow, that defense is somebody that I'm going to fear. You look at the offense and feel that way. But because the defense doesn't have showy stats like interceptions, tackle for losses, only 9 sacks on the season, people are going to look at their defense and not think they're great, but they're salty.
So 3rd and 13. Namkin over the middle. There's the first catch of the ball game for Caden Mills. He's their standout receiver. Gets to the 25, well short of first down yardage. Caden, a young man, came in with 33 catches, nearly 700 yards receiving, 689. He scored 10 touchdowns on the season. 3 of them came in the worst bowl, and the Unicorns lost to New Braunfels Canyon.
It's wild to think about how Caden Mills has 10 touchdowns. Namkin has 12 throwing touchdowns, so more than 85% of Namkin's touchdowns have gone to Caden Mills, which is absurd.
The Warriors have Grindstaff and Hopper back to receive the punt. Grindstaff calls for the catch, makes it at his own 48, make it 49. And so that's where the Warriors will start with their 3rd possession of the ball game. And I have not had a chance to watch every Pieper game. No, I know you did their game against Johnson, their 2nd game of the season. I did the game when they beat Davenport, which was the next week. and I did a game 2 weeks ago against Smithson Valley. I also did their game last week against Seguin. I do not recall a time in which their offense did not score on their first 2 possessions.
No, it's got to be within the first 2.
And the ball's on the turf. And New Braunfels, I think, has it. The officials agree.
Oh, huge for the Unicorns. 3 offensive possessions with no scores for the Pieper Warriors offense. That New Braunfels Unicorns team has got to be lit at how they're performing right now. They've got to be electric. I mean, look at that sideline. Coach came running out almost to midfield. He was so amped.
Yeah, Coach Brad Mulder knowing if you're going to get a win like this against a team like this, these are the types of things you need to happen. So far the flow, the dictation of this game certainly favoring New Braunfels. They're going to start at the Warrior 47-yard line following the first turnover of the ball game. Second turnover of the ball game. They got an interception as well. I forget because they came on 4th down and they started at their own 1. So 2 turnovers here in the first couple of minutes, 10 minutes to be exact, of the ball game. Out to the 45, let's call it. Nice little give. Again, it's Brock Stewart coming left, back to past the line of scrimmage by about 2 yards. So 2nd and 8 coming for the Unicorns at the Pieper 45.
Bennett King, first guy there, high safety, or he's low safety. Let's not call him high safety. He's one of the safeties on that Pieper Warrior team. He is a run stopper. He's got 49 tackles, give him 50 tackles on the season. He's going to be in the mix a lot, and you're going to hear his name a lot tonight.
So on 2nd and 8, Namkin, a bunched backfield, both to his right. Stewart does not get the carry. Namkin looking deep, goes down there, looking for, is that 0? Was he looking? No, he was looking for 3. It was Lyric Lally, could not quite get to him. So it's 3rd and 8 for New Braunfels now at the Pieper 45.
Lyric Lally was not the first option. He was initially looking for one of his guys right across the middle. He was actually looking for number 84, Lane Duke, who was running a route right up the middle, and then instead went through a couple of his progressions, ended up finding Lally, but Lally couldn't hold on to the football. Now you've got 3rd and 8.
Yeah, that's a good point, Noah. It's hard to tell because there were several Unicorn receivers bunched in that area. It's up to who the initial target was. Namkin running for his life across the 40, well short of first down yardage. They needed to get to the 37, got to the 40, so 4th and 3.
Oh, what a tough way to end your great defensive possession is now you send out your punt team, but long-term play, long-term thinking for head coach Brad Mulder. He's got to be thinking, you punt, your defense has been great so far. You trust them to pin Pieper back inside their own 10, get the ball back, play on a short field, and try to score a tutty.
Cole Redding back to punt. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a fake here. They're at their Pieper 40. Redding running. Looking to throw. Complete. They got the first down across the 20 inside. Nice reception by Zeke Martinez.
Holy cow. Zeke Martinez wide open on the right side. Cole Redding had the time of his life in that backfield. Can you imagine you play safety? You imagine you're a running back. It's like, okay, now's your time to throw the football. And Pieper had approximately, I wasn't counting, 5 seconds to adjust, and they did not. They stayed right where they were, anticipating the punt to actually happen. And Cole Redding said, watch me work.
Well, Cole Redding's a fantastic athlete, too. He returns kicks, he returns punts, a couple of returns for touchdowns over the last couple of years. Cole, a young man who can do it all in his senior year, second-year letterman for these Unicorns. 1st and 10 at the 15. First quarter winds down. Brock Stewart coming left. Brock Stewart has a seam. Brock Stewart has our first touchdown of the night. New Braunfels up 6-0 with 33 ticks left in the opening quarter.
Brock Stewart took Grant Oling for a piggyback ride to the end zone. He ran about 5 yards, maybe 4 yards, with Grant Oling right on his back. Unreal. Found the seam, punched the hole. Pieper tried to collapse, didn't get there in time. New Braunfels, touchdown, first.
And Liam Weaver on to make it 7-0. He does just that. Let's step aside. When we come back, Pieper down for one of the few times in this season. 7-0 against New Braunfels. We're back from right here on the Warriors Network. You're watching from right here on the Pieper High School campus.
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Pieper Warriors set to get the ball following a New Braunfels Unicorns touchdown, the first of the night from here at Warrior Coliseum. New Braunfels, Noah, jumping out to a 7-0 lead on a Warrior squad that comes in 6-0, 3-0 in district play.
They don't make lines on a high school football game. They shouldn't. That feels wrong. But if they did, hypothetically, New Braunfels scoring first would not have been the one that people hammered. That would not have been the one. People would have bet $50 and won $2 to bet that Pieper would score the first touchdown of the match tonight.
Chris Hinton with the kick. Dies at the 2, so Brady Hopper's got to take it at that point. Across the 10, not quite to the 15. Warriors will start with 28 seconds remaining inside their own 15-yard line.
I feel like I keep hammering on this, but again, there's another mishap, mistake, whatever other M word you want to throw on it for the Pieper Warriors team. You've had a lot of drops from Isaiah Champagne. You've had a lot of blown coverages on your offensive line. You've had a lot of blown blocking schemes where the defensive line just powers through. You've had a lot of missed throws by Caden Keith, and now you got a missed field goal. You've got bad field possession. Just tough first quarter for the Pieper Warriors.
At the 14, Keith in shotgun, as is usually the case, hands to Hopper across the 15, maybe 3, maybe 4, in what should be the final play of the opening quarter.
It'd be just like Nick Rogers to call a play, though. Could you imagine?
It would be.
You just line them up with 5 seconds left. You rip one from Keith to Champagne down the left side. Oh, it's just imagination, though.
They're content to just start with quarter number 2. When we come back from right here on the Warriors Network, the Warriors looking to rally 7-0 New Braunfels after 1 right here on the Warriors Network. Second quarter right here at the Warrior Coliseum on the Warriors Network. Noah Torre alongside Brady Hopper, the give. Not much beyond the line of scrimmage if he even got past it on 2nd and 6 to start quarter number 2.
Fun fact, just to start the second quarter, just to get our minds right of maybe what to expect. The last time the Pieper Warriors scored 0 points in the first quarter was against the San Antonio Wagner High School, the Thunderbirds. They went into quarter 2 and scored 21 points.
Yeah, so they responded nicely. Fell down 14-0 in that ball game. Isaiah Champagne, his first catch of the ball game, so maybe that's a good omen for the Warriors. Get him going. His 6th target of the ball game. Bit of an out route. He's run out of bounds, and now they're tending to him. You see a bunch of unicorns huddling around. Isaiah now on his feet, although walking gingerly back onto the field.
Head coach Nick Rogers came out to about where the 40-yard marker is to check on his guy. Isaiah Champagne still gingerly walking. Maybe he ran a little bit. Looks like he might come off.
First and 10 for the Warriors.
Yep, he is being assisted off the field by the training staff.
Huge loss for the Warriors. Depending on how long Isaiah Champagne stays out of this football game, if he comes back, if he is not on the football field, this might be a totally different ball game.
1st and 10 at the 28. Keith, shotgun, trips to our side. Lone receiver to the far side. Coming this way, Grindstaff. In between the hash marks at right around the 32-yard line or so.
Grindstaff, the second favorite target for Caden Keith. Normally it's Isaiah Champagne, who comes back out onto the football field after that play. But Grindstaff is the number 2 guy, about 57 yards per game. He's got a touchdown on the season because most of the touchdowns go to Champagne. But Grindstaff is the moneymaker in the middle of the football field.
23 catches on the season coming into the ball game. Hopper, the give, coming toward us and then cuts it inside. Near the 35 before the Unicorns holding a team meeting at the spot.
That was a team meeting. That was absolutely a team meeting.
You know, talked about duties and things they need to do going forward. Champagne, Noah, good to see him back on the field. A young man who came in with 513 yards receiving, the leading pass catcher on this ball club, not only in terms of yardage but also in terms of receptions with 29, so 30 when you include his catch just moments ago. Hopper again, this time up the middle. Going to be close to a first down depending on the spot. Yep, officials say first down. Move those chains.
Brady Hopper pounded that hole, and that offensive line, shout out to them. The past 2 times they've ran the football, there's been a beautiful hole, but the defense of New Braunfels has just collapsed. Patrick Freeberg, he flew in there like a torpedo. That was unreal.
At the 39, a new set of downs. Keith rolling to his left, going to take off across the 40, slides just shy of midfield.
That's the play that has opened up the most room for the Warriors offense, is movement on that offense. Pre-snap movement, and even within the first few seconds of the play, you've got some movement.
2nd and 3 following the gain of 7. Keith rolling that way again. Grindstaff, his second catch of the quarter, and on this drive specifically, knocked out of bounds is at the 10. Isaiah Champagne has the Warriors within 1 with the extra point to come. 53 yards from Caden Keith.
Ho, ho, ho! Isaiah Champagne. That dude is so fast. He absolutely smoked the New Braunfels Unicorn secondary. Isaiah Champagne, his 40 time, I want us all to know this, 4.43. The average NFL wide receiver time, 4.48. Isaiah Champagne. Oh, we got a football game.
And Champagne can fly. There's no doubt about that. And so, with us knotted up at 7, we did get a commercial break. When we come back, New Braunfels back on the field. 9:32 remaining in the second quarter. 7-7 here on the Warriors Network.
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Pieper about to kick off following a 47-yard touchdown. Little pooch kick. Fielded at the 43. And so New Braunfels will start with good field position here. Following the Pieper touchdown to tie us up at 7. I said 53. Pieper was at New Braunfels 47, so thank you for pointing that out, Noah. So 47 yards between Caden Keith and Isaiah Champagne to tie us up at 7 here in the second quarter.
It's like horseshoes and hand grenades. You got it's like it all comes out in the wash. It's just like
at the end of the day, 7-7. That's what really matters. Although the math does matter in some regards. I stress that to my daughter, so I don't want to be a hypocrite.
I hope they're listening.
She's at her Halloween carnival right now, so I don't think she is. First and 10 for New Braunfels here at their own 43. Tied game in what's been a very tight game so far. Napkin deep, miscommunication. Closest person to the ball was defensive back Jackson Hopper, Brady's brother, his older brother, and the senior defensive back laying out, unable to get to an overthrown ball. So 2nd and 10 coming for the Unicorns.
Lane Duke was running about a 10-yard comeback route. Namkin thought he was going yard to the end zone, and you know who almost went yard was the Pieper Warriors. They almost went yard on that. That was Jackson Hopper back there trying to make a little Odell Beckham catch.
At the 43, Namkin and shotgun. He's got twins to the top side. Looks that way. Now rolls that way. Still with it, and then throws it away.
He was trying to find Grant Franklin up in the middle, and then he got his second guy, Caden Mills, also blocked in coverage. And then Namkin's just like, well, I'll just throw it away. Like, I bet that's probably what went through his brain in that moment. That's not a knock on Namkin. That's just, and then you just throw it away. And you've got that defensive line swarming to come and grab you.
3rd and 10. Chance for this Pieper defense to get off the field. Namkin changing the play. Brock Stewart to his right. Fakes. Coming left, lets it go over the middle. Grant Franklin over the middle, picked by Hopper. He was down there moments ago. This time he's got one.
Oh, Hopper's lit. Hopper just got picked up by Jonathan Herbert. Big center right there. Hopper ran the route perfectly. Better say he met the route perfectly. Grant Franklin running a deep fade in the middle. Namkin trying to find his guy, trying to make a big play on offense, which Mulder said before the game when you talked to him. He said, I don't think big plays are going to come, but Namkin tried to force it in there, make it happen. Hopper, over the head, snag, put him on offense.
Yeah, playing that center field spot almost, and just read the play and then gravitated that way. Keith over the middle, Champagne again, incomplete.
Tough catch for Champagne, but again, hit your hands, you got to catch it. I think you had a phrase there that I don't know if we want to circle back to or not.
Yeah,
there
was.
We go. The bit keeps going.
It was it was often said in sarcasm. Well, always said in sarcasm. I had a coach who would say, hey, hit you in a bad spot, hit you in the hands. Keith, shotgun, flag, play stops. As the Pieper offense, we await the official call. The Pieper offense looks to build off potential momentum here after their defense was able to force a 3 and out following their first score of the game.
Offensive penalties will kill any momentum that you've got going on. False start, not entirely sure who it was on specifically, but false start on the Pieper Warriors offense sets them back for 2nd and 15.
So ball now at their own, let's call it 13-yard line. Twins to each side for Keith. Buying himself some time. Ball's loose on the turf again. Did New Braunfels get to it in time?
I think they got there.
Officials say
they got
yes.
there. Holy cow. Oh, this New Braunfels Unicorn defense is literally not a myth. They're not a myth.
That's their third. No. A unicorn might be the myth. This defense is the real deal. That's their third turnover of the first half, and it's a main reason why they're tied at 7 with the ball on the Pieper 10 with a chance to take a lead on an undefeated team.
I've got goosebumps. That was unreal. Great coverage by the secondary. Nobody open in the middle. Keith flushes out. Flustered. Ball knocked out. Unicorns making some magic.
Napkin 1st and goal. They're at the 10. Keeps on the shotgun snap. About 2 yards as he comes left.
Met by Jackson Hopper. Jackson Hopper didn't even wrap him up. He just laid his shoulder into him and laid him out. What a hit.
Hopper's been all over the place these last 2 defensive series for the Warriors. Back defending on a ball that was overthrown, then the pick. The big hit there on the first play of this possession. So 2nd and goal at the 8. Namkin with Brock Stewart behind him. Caden Mills, the lone receiver, at the top of the field. Stewart to carry, comes right, already scored for these Unicorns. Fights his way toward another, but that Warrior defense able to stop him right around the 2-yard line. He might have gotten to the 1.
I mean, that was a great run. He was yanked back by number 27, Leighton Springer. If it wasn't for Leighton Springer, he would have scored a touchdown. He literally pulled him back and yanked him. That was theatrical.
It's at the goal line. It's not even accurate to say 3rd and 1. The ball is at the goal line. Snap. Up ahead. Touchdown, New Braunfels. I believe, if I saw that correctly, and they're all bunched up, I believe it was Napkin just keeping.
Napkin flushed that thing right through his offensive line, proving to the world, you don't need a tush push. You just need some strong legs and a great line. Tush push is for people who don't have a good offensive line. You know who does? Unicorns.
On to attempt the extra point. His second is Liam Weaver. And he boots it through. 14-7, the Unicorns retake the lead. We're back after this. Second quarter, 7:33 remain right here on the Warriors Network. Warriors Coliseum, I think it's safe to say that the home crowd here somewhat stuns, and you could probably take the word somewhat out of it.
This is unreal. I'm stunned. This is unreal. New Braunfels up 14-7. I mean, the Caden Keith electric 47-yard throw to Isaiah Champagne, that's what we're used to seeing. The mistakes on offense, the 2 bad snaps, the fumble at the 10-yard line, the Warriors look rattled.
Now, it's only a 7-point game as the kick goes through the end zone, and the Warriors will take it at their own 25. But I think it goes to the point of just how good and dominant Pieper has been this season. We're talking about teams that by the time you get to this point of a game, almost midway point of the second quarter, they're usually up 21-0, 28-0, 28-3, what have you. It's those kinds of scores. And so for them to be down 14-7, I think surprising. Now, again, it bears repeating that New Braunfels comes in undefeated in district play, 5-1 overall. Their only loss to Canyon in that always fun worst bowl rivalry, complete to Evan Drake near the 35. We'll see where they spot it officially. But a gain of right around 9 on 1st and 10.
I mean, at one point against Seguin, it was 35-0.
Yeah.
It was 35-0.
Yep.
And it was 7 touchdowns by 7 different dudes. Where's that offense?
Yeah, it was similar. It was kind of a similar pace against Davenport when they took on the Wolves. A very good Davenport as well. Now, Davenport is a 4A program, but it was that kind of a flow to the game. First down as Hopper takes the call and then kind of falls forward. So 1st and 10 now at the 33-yard line, we'll call it.
It was similar against Johnson, though, and Johnson's a 6A program.
Yeah, not only a 6A, but one of the better 6As.
Yeah.
In Greater San Antonio. Keith looking over the middle. Looking for Champagne deep again. He's got Isaiah. My goodness.
I just laugh because it's laughable. Like, that's the same route that he scored on in the same play. 3-step drop. Isaiah Champagne runs a go route and blows by the middle linebacker, the outside linebacker, the safety. He blows by everybody, and it's just unreal.
It's not as easy as they make it look. 1st and 10 at the 19, 14 make it. Coming across inside the 10. And then running backwards. Now flags on the play, taking a big hit, excuse me. It's Caden Keith looking to make something happen. There is a penalty marker on the play.
I don't know if Caden Keith was trying to make something happen or if he just wanted to avoid getting hit.
Yeah.
But either way, that was not smart, not smooth either. Just confusing. Nobody was there, but they did bootleg out again, fake the pitch, trying to get him moving, decided to run, but just weird decision by Keith.
Speaking of decisions, here comes the officials' announcement. Penalty is on Pieper. It's holding. So the ball back at the 22. So the Warriors will have it. They need to get to the 4-yard line for a new set of downs. 1st and 18 at the 22. Keith looking right. Usually he's had to improvise. Now lets it go. Andrew Grindstaff, touchdown. Came across, dove forward, and then as he's going to the ground, able to secure the touchdown. 14-13.
Yeah, good football tonight. You chose a great game to watch. Keith tried to find Champagne short. He told Champagne, no, go deep, go deep. Defender running around, tripped up Keith. Keith on the move, on the run, finds Grindstaff somehow in the end zone. 2nd touchdown of the season for Andrew Grindstaff.
Extra point blocked. New Braunfels picking it up at the 11. Cole Redding right in the middle of that. He's in the middle of everything for New Braunfels.
Yeah, he's that dude's quick and good.
And so 14-13 remains our score. We're back after this. The Pieper defense back on the field. And it's a 14-13 game. We'll see you on either side from right here at the Warriors Network. Warriors Network, Pieper 13, New Braunfels 14. Had some technical difficulties here through the first quarter and a half of this ball game. Apologies. I think we've got the kinks worked out, and so looking forward to bringing you a smooth broadcast the rest of the way in a game that's been very smooth for New Braunfels. For Pieper, not as smooth as they've played throughout the season, but still within just one here following a 2nd touchdown pass from Caden Keith. This one to Andrew Grindstaff. Fair catch. New Braunfels will take over at its own 29 following the Caleb Palomo fielding of the kick.
Big plays will keep you close, though. It's been a ugly game. I don't want to say that because I don't want to be disrespectful, but I feel like you just got to call it how it is. It's kind of been a little bit ugly on offense for Pieper. But they've had some huge plays to keep them in this football game. Caden Keith working his magic. Isaiah Champagne, toast, working his magic. Offense is moving, defense still staying strong. Warriors are still in this.
Yeah, 3 turnovers in the first half is certainly something that was not on the drawing board for Pieper. But even still, they're down just 1 with 6 minutes remaining before the intermission. Brock Stewart, nice run on 1st and 10. As a matter of fact, a first down carry. Needed 10, got 11. So now the ball at the 41 of New Braunfels.
Sweet delayed run, delayed handoff to give that to Stewart. Let the defense collapse. Let your offensive line work. Punch a hole for you. You just blitz right up through it. Beautiful play call.
Napkin shotgun. Usually is. Stewart coming right. Breaks the tackle initially past the line of scrimmage. Gets to right around the 45. So 2nd and 6 is what the Unicorns will face.
Stewart shed a couple blocks on that. That was cool. That's all I got for that. That was cool.
Yeah. No, he's a good running back. You know, we had him in the game against Canyon, the worst bowl. Had a solid game that night as well. Not spectacular, but he's going to get you what you need more often than not, especially on 1st and 10. You know, he gets in trouble, I think, sometimes when you kind of put him in space, but very effective between the tackles. 2nd down and 6 at the 45-yard line. Napkin navigating to right around midfield.
Unicorns gritty on offense. Nothing but gritty so far. They haven't had the huge plays on offense that you hope for. Defense has had some beautiful big plays, but they're sticking to the game plan, keeping it short, keeping it gritty. Now you've got 3rd and 1 where you have a lot of options. give it a little short out to one of your wideouts. Caden Mills, who hasn't been super involved in this football game so far. Pieper has shut him out. Hand it to Stewart, Nampkin up the gut. Lots of options.
Big down for this Unicorn O. At midfield, 3rd and 1. Stewart's got the first down. Into Pieper territory across the 45.
First down and some. They are exposing Piper's middle, where that 3-3-5, some of the benefits of that, you have a great pass defense. Where you lack and what you hope for is that your D-line and linebackers are going to perform, but the Unicorns are exposing that.
And what this allows, movement, there's the flag, deep shot, free play, there's Mills, and he comes down with the ball inside the 10. That's going to count. I didn't see anybody in the Braunfels O-line move, so I'm going to assume that penalty's on Pieper.
Oh, it's got to be. Thor Mickelbust was right there in the midst of it. It is. Of course you declined the penalty. Who accepts that? Caden Mills, free play from Nampkin. Ball a little bit underthrown. Who cares? Caden Mills was right there. First action that we get to call his name, and it's on brand for him.
They're at the 6. New Braunfels threatening already. 4 minutes, 4:02 exactly to go in the second quarter. Napkin on 1st and goal at the 6. Shotgun. Brock Stewart already scored tonight. Make it twice. New Braunfels adds to its lead, 20-13 with 3:55 remaining in the first half.
Slick little counter handoff right there. Brock Stewart going left, forgets it, goes right, wide open spaces. Pieper defense was caught sleeping, going off to the right side of the football for them, technically the left for the Unicorns, and wide open room for Brock Stewart.
Liam Weaver, 3 for 3 on extra points. 21-13, New Braunfels leads Pieper. 3:55 remaining in the first half. We're back after this right here on the Warriors Network.
3:55 here to play.
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Warriors Network here at the Warrior Coliseum, and 6-0 Pieper finds itself down by 8 to a fellow 3-0 team in district play, New Braunfels. The Unicorns coming in 5-1 and doing a whole lot of things right as they're set to kick off with under 4 minutes to go before the intermission. Again, another deep kick that goes through the back of the end zone, and so the Warriors will start 1st and 10 at their own 25.
Brock Stewart, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Nampkin, a touchdown on the ground. New Braunfels, ground and pound, just playing some gritty offense and picking apart the Warriors' defense.
A lot of times when you have a matchup where one team is trying to keep the other team's offense off the field, like it serves them well to do that, a lot of times they're almost running the ball out of game plan necessity, as Keith comes to the near side. Champagne with the catch on the out route, gets to the 35-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down, and it might actually be. It is. They're going to move the sticks. So 1st and 10 on 1st and 10. To continue that thought, though, Noah, is a lot of times you want to keep on running in order to keep the other team off the field because you're chewing the clock. Well, in New Braunfels' case, that's happening, but they're also gaining significant yardage while they're going to the ground. It's been their bread and butter. It's working for them as John Hamilton gets his second carry of the ball game across the 40, and it's a big reason why the Unicorns are up 21-13 here with nearing 3.5 to go before half.
It hasn't just, you're right, it hasn't just been short runs, chip away. It's been short runs that turn into long runs, and you chunk away. You don't just chip away. You get some great yards.
Hamilton, a second straight carry, gets the Warriors a first down. They're at their own 48 now. Clock goes under 3:20. Pieper, in the rarest of positions, a deficit of 8 Grindstaff in this flat. Little screen. Gets near midfield. I think he might have actually gotten there. He does. He's at the 50 exactly. And so 2nd and 8 coming up for the Warrior offense.
Interesting thought for Keith. He averages about 17 yards every time he completes a pass. So it's been a lot of shorter passes, and then you've got your one long pass, but that mid-range throw game for the Pieper Warrior offense has been non-existent.
Keith with 19 touchdown passes on the year. That includes the 2 he's thrown in this ball game. 4 picks, including the pick he's had tonight. Goes deep again. Champagne at the 15. Ball is picked. And so New Braunfels will take over following a 4th turnover of the first half for the Pieper offense. Caleb Palomo, the pick for the Unicorns.
Wow, I mean, gutsy throw by Caden Keith. I'm shocked he threw that football. I mean, you trust your wide receiver, but if you air it out and you just pump it up and let the ball hang in the air for far too long, you're going to let whatever defender get too much of an advantage to do something on the football. And that's exactly what Palomo did right there.
I think Caden probably used to Isaiah winning those one-on-one battles. Napkin, some space across the 15 near the 20. Pickup of about 8 on first down.
I'm shocked that he threw that football. I'm shocked. It didn't look like he gave Champagne that much of a chance either.
I think it was underthrown. Well, given Champagne speed, right? Most balls in the direction of Isaiah are going to be underthrown. Napkin again. He was looking to fake a pitch, even though he had no option out there. Kind of getting creative. But you know what? It worked. They got just enough yardage for the first down.
It's like in basketball when you've got it. You're right there on the 3-point line. Nobody's next to you. It's bah, and you just go. Even though nobody's next to you, you just get them going.
They're at the 20 as the clock now goes near 2 minutes. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you're Coach Brad Mulder, I think you're content to go at this pace. You don't necessarily need a score. I think if you can just take this thing down to 0 and you go into the half up by 8, I think you're perfectly content. Stewart, a couple more yards here around the right side. Let's give him 3 to the 23, 2nd and 7.
I think you like a score like any football coach likes a score, but you're right. You're totally content to go in up by 8.
Yeah.
On the best team in District 13.
No, you're absolutely right. No, I think a point of clarification there is Napkin. As we say that, he goes deep. Caden Mills down there underneath it, almost had the catch, and Caden's wishing he had that one back.
Oh, right in the breadbasket. That was right there. Caden Mills would take that back every single time. Smoked the coverage that Pieper was playing. That was Carlos Raja Lopez, who's one of the impact players of tonight's game for the Warriors. Smoked him. He was nowhere to be found. That was a clear touchdown. If he snags that, oh, that would have been money.
If you're New Braunfels, you wouldn't want anybody else in that position other than Caden Mills. Makes that play 99% of the time. Napkin, rolling right, lets it go. Nearly picked.
Same guy who had the blown coverage almost got a pick. Wow. Lopez, that's called forgiveness. That's how that works. I think that's the definition of that word.
Raj Lopez making up for it, and a huge defensive stand for Pieper. Now they've still got a minute 20, which, again, for this offense, I know they've turned it over 4 times tonight, but for this offense is an eternity, especially considering you expect them to get it at right around midfield. Cole Redding, the punter, at his own 10. Angles it out of bounds, and it bounced out of bounds, so it'd be interesting to see where the officials say it went out at the 42. So 42 yards to go for 6 for Pieper. Certainly less than that for a field goal with 1:11 to go here in the first half. In a game they're down 21-13.
Great field position for the Warriors. And with 1:20 left on the clock, a minute 11. I didn't look the second time. Minute 11. That's big play territory. That's where you move fast. You get some short throws, angle for a big play, lots of mid-range throws. This is the perfect setup to score a touchdown for the Warriors offense.
Keith with trips to our side. He comes this way. Grindstaff out of his hands. Not the first time we've seen the Warriors unable to convert there on those little slants by their slot receivers, either a slant or a hook route, but they haven't proven really fruitful for the Warriors thus far tonight.
Did somebody put a curse on the Warriors wide receivers before this game? That's uncharacteristic.
Same formation. Again, Grindstaff looking this way. This time the out route to Champagne. He gets out of bounds at the 35. Couple yards shy of the first down. Go ahead, Noah.
Exact same play. It's awesome how head coach Nick Rogers is okay. He's just like, yeah, first play didn't work. Let's run it again, because they have so many options to pick from. So the first route, first progression, you see it, okay, let's move to the next one. Because they have so many options to pick from, they can just run the exact same play over and over again.
3rd and 2. From here, it's about a 51-yard field goal if they don't get another yard, and they don't get another yard. Ball tipped beyond the line of scrimmage. Good defensive pressure there by Micah Gonzalez. And because Micah was able to get his paws on it, it's 4th and 2. And the Warrior offense staying on the field.
Champagne wide open on the out route. Gonzalez, a clutch swat at that line of scrimmage.
59 seconds to go in the first half. Pass complete. Grindstaff able to hold on this time. First down yardage for the Warriors on 4th and 2.
Redemption. That's also, I think, the definition of that word. He just got redemption on that one for Grindstaff.
Piper's going to take a timeout. Let's take it with him. The Warriors driving for what could be a potentially tying score. 53 ticks left before the first half ends. 21-13 New Braunfels here on the Warriors Network.
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Noah Torre alongside. Late first half, 53 seconds to be exact. The Pieper Warriors down 21-13, but looking for the equalizer, maybe if they can get the 6, and then we'll go from there. Keith, sideline, Champagne there, complete. Isaiah smartly getting right out of bounds. So they're at the 22 now of New Braunfels.
Playing the sideline game. Gotta love it. And succeeding at playing the sideline game so far.
They're going to mark it at the 23. So need to get to right around the 18. Again, no I can do that math. That leaves a difference of 5.
You just proven to your daughter that math matters.
Math matters. It matters. To the right side, Grindstaff hit as he catches it, stays on his feet near the 15. And good for another Pieper first down.
Just to go on a little tangent, you want to know a fun fact? My college credit math course on the vein of, and we're going to a timeout, so I'm just going to keep it here.
Perfect time.
It's
perfect time to tell
in
your
the
math
vein
story.
of math matters. My college math credit course, it was called Ideas in Math.
Okay.
Not legit math. Like ideas in math. It was like Johnny Gonzalez has 2/3 of a sandwich. Sarah Lucy has 1/8, and this other person has 1/6. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
And guess what I got in that class? It's important.
What'd you get?
It wasn't a C.
You got a B. Okay.
But it's the fact that it was a B in a class called Ideas in Math. So I don't know what that says about either my work ethic or my IQ, but it's got to say something.
Well, I'll tell you what, we could put that into practice in a little while, because the folks at Pieper, nice enough to leave some munchies behind, including this burger in between us.
Yeah.
We can cut it in half with those ideas of math to school. If we cut it this way, what's going to happen? All right, Keith. After the snap, looking right, Grindstaff. Oh, a huge hit. Did he hang on?
He held on. Holy cow.
Oh, my goodness. Andrew Grindstaff with the catch of the night. They're at the 2 and they're hurrying. Under 30 seconds on the game clock. Keith. Hopper stopped at the 1. Piper's going to have to take a timeout here. They do.
Holy cow. Catcher Kyle, the hit of the night. How in the world did Grindstaff hold on to that football?
Here we go, another look. Well, that's Grindstaff kind of afterwards adjusting the helmet, and rightfully so. He was rocked.
Wow. How do you stand up and walk in a straight line after a hit like that?
That was vicious. That was, and not, but again, I want to make sure that I clarify here. Vicious in a good kind of a way, in a legal, not vicious in mean-spirited or awful. Vicious as in you're watching a football game and you go, whoa, that was vicious. Boy, that was at a hit.
Vicious like, I don't want to be on the other end of that hit, but what a hit. But the hit doesn't matter if you hold on to the football. Highlight reel hit. Put that on your huddle page. That doesn't stop a Piper Warrior offense, though.
Andrew Grindstaff, one tough kid. First and goal. The scoreboard says the 4. They're not at the 4, though. I think they're closer to the 2. And New Braunfels takes a timeout immediately following Piper's last timeout.
New Braunfels caught off guard because Brady Hopper was in the Wildcat formation. Piper trying to be a little tricky. Last week, they had that onside kick that caught everybody off guard after that first touchdown. That was crazy, by the way. What a gutsy call by head coach Nick Rogers. He is not afraid to take a chance and just see what happens. Because if New Braunfels doesn't call a timeout, you're running that play. We have no idea what that play was going to be, but it was going to be fancy. That's probably a good way to say it. It was going to be fancy.
And given all the weapons that Piper has, who knows where it would go. And that's the beautiful thing about the options that Nick Rogers and his offensive staff has, is that you can go any of a number of directions and you're going to be just fine. And so they come back out. Hopper, again, in the Wildcat. First and goal, second and goal at the 2. Hopper takes a snap, hands to Hamilton. Hamilton's got a lane into the end zone. Touchdown, Piper. They're down 21-19. And will they go for the tie?
Hamilton and around in the Wildcat, the dynamic duo, Hopper, Hamilton. You gotta love it. Hopper looked like he couldn't quite decide whether or not he was gonna keep that. He was running with Hamilton probably about 4 or 5 steps and then eventually just gave it up, and Hamilton had free room on the left side, and it looks like they're gonna go for 2. We might go into the half with a tie ball game.
Caden Keith back on the field, and he's in shotgun formation. Hopper shifted over to his right. 18 seconds remaining. It's a point after conversion, though. Keith coming to his right, looking that way. Lofts, end zone. We're tied. Andrew Grindstaff.
Caden Keith, give him the Tiger Woods fist pump. Absolutely. Grindstaff ran that route, and he was patient. He just sat right in the end zone on the R in the Warriors on the end zone. He just waited, and Keith found his guy. Not a tight throw, but he lobbed it a little bit. Whatever, it got there. Great throw, great catch. 21-21. We got a ball game.
We're so close to the intermission, only 18 ticks away. Let's keep it right here. And despite the 4 turnovers, Noah, despite the fact that New Braunfels has played well, we're even.
This shows how good the Piper Warriors team is. Where you're the New Braunfels Unicorns, you forced 4 turnovers in the first half. If they don't have any in the second half, people are still going to think that's a lot of turnovers. And yet you're tied 21 apiece.
Kickoff deep. It is returnable, though. And Caden Mills takes it at the 7. Whistles.
Maybe fair catch?
Did he call for a
Touchback?
fair catch?
Fair catch touchback?
Maybe. It would give him the ball at the 25 if that's the case. Did his knee hit the ground? His knee must have hit the ground.
Wow.
Because they're giving it to him at the 7. Now, for those of you watching at home saying, well, no, if he signaled for a catch at the 7, then he'll get it at the 7. That's not in high school. High school, the new rule is if you wherever you fair catch, outside of you get it at the 25. So his knee, a knee must have hit a ground?
It's got
hit
to
the
have.
ground?
It's got to have hit the ground. And then if you're the Unicorns coming out, I mean, do you just take a knee, send it in, call it a day?
Yeah. Yeah, especially considering Piper can't stop it anymore. Just take a knee, and you're content to go into the locker room. 21-21. Especially in this environment against this team. Napkin. There we go. There's the knee.
Unicorns kneel.
So we're through 24 minutes. It's been exciting. It's been back and forth, and it's tied at the intermission. Halftime show is next, right here from the Warrior Coliseum. 21-21 in a battle of two teams that are 3-0 in district play. You're watching Pieper football right here on the Warriors Network.
The following vehicles are parked illegally and are about to be towed if they are not moved. We have a
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera. Named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera. Named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera named after a boy. Why don't you name it Pieper?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that. It's a camera. Named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that. It's a camera. Named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western original.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building confident smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Braunfels Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors! Hey Piper Nation.
Halftime performances wrapping up here at the Warrior Coliseum on a night in which the New Braunfels Unicorns have come in to Pieper Coliseum and given the Warriors all they can handle. 21-21 our score through 24 minutes. As we bring in Noah Torr. Noah, it's been a first half, or it was a first half, that saw a lot of good for New Braunfels, some bad for Pieper, but at the end of the day, here we are sitting at 21-21.
I'm shocked at how good New Braunfels' defense has been throughout the first half. I'm also shocked at how many mistakes that Pieper's offense made, because it was a combo of both. It was just a terrible storm for the offense of defense is playing super well and offense had a lot of mistakes, and yet here we are, just like you said, 21-21, because Pieper has been able to overcome the mistakes that they've made and the defensive play by the Unicorns. Caden Keith, he's been great, kind of. Like, he's been great, kind of, which we've
Right.
never been able to say about Caden Keith. Every time you talk about Caden Keith before the game, we were singing his praises, and that's not to knock on him, but just the way that he approached that first half was weird. And yet, he had two touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns. Can't forget about the John Hamilton touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns and a 2-point attempt. Caden Keith overcame the mistakes he made, but then he's also got 1 interception. And so Caden Keith, a weird first half.
It's interesting because all 4 of those Pieper turnovers are his. He
Yeah,
had, he had the 2
he had
fumbles.
the fumble as well.
He had the pick here at the 1, and then he had the pick down here where he was looking for Isaiah Champagne. And so more often than not, a quarterback turns the ball over 4 times and you're thinking, boy, he had a rough first 24 minutes.
Right.
In Caden Keith's case, to your point, he threw a couple of touchdown passes, connected on a couple of long passes as well to Champagne, and here we are. He's played, even though he'd like to have those 4 turnovers back, obviously, he played comparatively to most other quarterbacks a decent first half. And I think it goes to show it's a greater it's emblematic, if you will, of just how good this Pieper team is. You've talked about how it goes to it shows the strength and how good they really are. I think a lot of times in sports, it's pretty simple. If you got more talent, you're gonna win more often than not.
Yeah.
If your best players are better than the other team's best players, and your best players play well, more often than not, you're gonna win.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. That's,
and I say that with a lot of appreciation because I realize that people tune into sports and hear analysis, and if we just simply put it at that, there would be no reason to listen anymore. I'm not saying there's.
Stop listening to all your favorite sports podcasts. There's no need. It's just talking heads.
So I say that with a sense of, look, it's not always that simple, and there is something to be said for looking in depth and trying to figure out why this happened and why that happened. But at the end of the day, Pieper's best players have made plays at key times.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're so talented is a reason we're staring at a 21-21 ball game, because almost no other team in Greater San Antonio would be tied at 21 after turning the ball over 4 times in the first half. It just wouldn't happen.
That's a great way to present the storyline of one of the Greater San Antonio football teams that is probably borderline, arguably the best football team in the Greater San Antonio area. Some people might disagree and say Cibolo Steel. Totally okay. I might disagree with them. But to be a team where you have 4 turnovers and you're 21 apiece coming into the second half is absurd.
And so Hopper trouble fielding the opening kick. Pieper starts the second half, I should say, with the ball. They bring it back across the 25. And Pieper will start 1st and 10 at its own 27, it looks like. 28 potentially here on 1st and 10.
And not to be the old curmudgeon who's not an old curmudgeon to harp on mistakes, but at the same time, it's like, man, you start off the second half with a dropped reception to receiving the field goal. Like that's just not characteristic of this Pieper Warriors team. It's been a weird football game for them.
On 1st and 10, Keith handoff, Hopper up the middle, good gain, first down carry on 1st and 10 to the 45. 17-yard pickup on the first play from scrimmage of half number 2.
Smashed that hole right there that the offensive line provided, and he pounded the rock all the way up. Great run by Hopper.
Keith, 4 receivers, including Hopper, bunched up tight to his right side, looking for Drake. Now, Drake caught it. Was he in bounds when he did? He was. Another first down on 1st and 10.
What a snag. Evan Drake was literally just sitting there. He didn't move. He was waiting for Keith. Keith chucked the football. I saw he was staring him down. I was like, that's a terrible throw. Apparently, Caden Keith can see things that I can't see. That was a beautiful toss and catch.
He hands to Hopper. Hopper up the middle. Another positive gain for these Pieper Warriors. It took to the 3rd play from scrimmage of the second half for them not to gain a first down.
And we're not even a full minute into the Pieper Warriors offensive possession so far, and they could potentially get a touchdown within the first minute and a half.
2nd and 2 at the New Braunfels 29. Hopper to Keith's left. Fakes the handoff. Looking this way. Slant. Champagne. Now, Champagne extended for it. Tough to tell from this angle whether it went through his hands or was a little too tall for him.
Just, again, weird that the connection is off between Keith and Champagne. Because if the throw was a little high, but it hit him in the hands, and even still, that is a normal pitch and catch between those two that's been off so far this evening.
On 3rd and 2, Hopper gets the first down. Across the 25. He needed to get to the 27, so a new set of downs for the Warriors as this opening drive of the second half continues.
Just call him Mr. Consistent. That's what he's been so far this drive. You just hand the ball off to Brady Hopper, and he's going to get you about 7 yards every single time he touches the football.
John Hamilton now the lone back in the backfield next to Caden Keith. 2 Keiths left. He gets a carry up the middle, some room. Tries to cut it outside. A couple of New Braunfels defenders able to make the stop.
New Braunfels in that deep protection mode, trying to prevent the long plays, which so far a lot of the time has worked because Pieper's offense, for the most part, has more explosive plays in most of the games they've played than this one tonight. But they're able to churn up the middle with both their backs in Hamilton and Hopper.
Landon Jackson, one of several Unicorn defenders there to make the stop. Keith to the end zone. Not to the end zone. Drake looking for Drake. It's incomplete. I thought for a second that maybe Drake was able to haul it in. Officials saying no. He's about diving it right around the 4. So 2nd and 10 or the 15.
Grindstaff was in the middle of his route in that area. Keith was looking for him. Grindstaff peeled off. Drake came right over the middle, and a tough throw from Keith low into the ground. Drake couldn't make a play on it.
Same formation. Hamilton to carry. Again, has some room across the 10. Near the 5. So near first down yardage on 2nd and 10. Let's call it 3rd and 1.
Run game moving and shaking for the Warriors. The run game is potentially, hopefully, going to open up the pass game for the Warriors, but you got to be able to complete some passes between Keith and his wideouts.
Again, same formation, trips to the left. Hamilton gets the carry. I think he got it, Noah. He needed the 5, and I think he got exactly there.
Wait for the call. Wow.
Nope, he's short.
Wow. Oh.
Well, Hopper's coming onto the field, so every indication early is that Pieper's going to go, which is no surprise whatsoever. Fourth and they're going to call it 1. Go ahead, Noah.
Wildcat. Wildcat time, baby.
This made New Braunfels take a timeout late in the 2nd quarter. Hopper looking to Nick Rogers and that sideline. 8:45 and counting remaining in quarter number 3, and now Pieper wants to talk it over. There's some confusion. I think Coach Nick Rogers wants to make sure that everything is squared away before they run a play on 4th and 1 from basically their 6-yard line, or the New Braunfels 6-yard line.
That play clock was ticking down. Brady Hopper in the Wildcat formation, trying to receive signals from his coach in a unique spot because he doesn't normally receive signals from his coach, and he's not normally the main guy. And then he was trying to get John Hamilton organized, and then he looked back, and then Nick Rogers was yelling stuff out, and once it hit about 3, went over to the down up, and he was like, hey, we're just going to talk this thing over.
Brady Hopper coming into this ball game, 276 yards on 48 carries. John Hamilton, 324 yards on 58 carries. Their yards per carry average, very similar. John at 5.6, Brady at 5.8. So a couple of good options as both are in the game right now. Hamilton is in the slot. Should the Warriors look to go with some kind of a jet sweep or end around, with Hopper taking the direct snap. Their version of the Wildcat. 4th and 1 at the 6. There's Hamilton. Hopper keeps. First down.
It's just the Warrior version of a QB sneak. Not one to put Caden Keith in a bad situation. Why not just put one of your best runners in the backfield and just let him go to town? And he did. He did exactly that. First down. Now you got 4 more tries to score a touchdown.
Spotted at the 4. 1st and goal. Hopper's still in there. Awaits a snap. Here comes Hamilton. Hopper keeps. Hopper to the goal line. Hopper's got a touchdown. Pieper takes the lead.
Brady Hopper hopping his way into the end zone right there. Smash the C gap, that gap in between the right tackle and the tight end. Wildcat formation. Head coach Nick Rogers, he's got to be aware that the pass just hasn't quite been working. So he goes for the run, and he goes for weird run, and weird run works because weird sometimes is okay. Weird run, touchdown, Brady Hopper.
Extra point. Up and through for Daniel Miranda. We're back after this. Pieper on top, 28-21, right here on the Warriors Network.
Hey Pieper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
They're playing a little money for nothing here at the Warrior Coliseum as Pieper is taking a 28-21 lead. Its first lead of the ball game. 8:14 to go in the third quarter off a 4-yard touchdown run, a keeper from Brady Hopper out of the Wildcat. The field goal goes through the end zone, and so New Braunfels, the offense that was so efficient, solid in the first half, now gets its first crack in the third quarter, facing a deficit for the first time here with 8:14 remaining in quarter number 3.
And if you're New Braunfels, you walk out and you have two options. You can either stick to the game plan that you've been working with that so far has been working pretty consistently outside of those first 3 possessions that you had on offense, been working pretty well, or you take a big shot and you make a statement in the second half.
Napkin in shotgun. Brock Stewart's back there with him as well. Single receivers to each side. Napkin keeps around the 28-yard line. Clayton, a little bit of a somersault toward the end of that play.
It was Lopez chopping the tree down low. Got him. I mean, that's a big dude you're trying to bring down. Clayton Namkin, he plays catcher on the baseball team for the Unicorns. I mean, that guy, he pitches sometimes too, so he's just a really good athlete is probably a good way to say it, but that's a big dude you're trying to bring down.
Standout baseball player. 2nd down and 7. Napkin near far side, actually, toward that sideline, an out route. They were looking for Lane Duke, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Noah, is that the first target toward Lane Duke? I know he's been in on a couple of plays, but I think he's been in either in a big capacity in either blocking or some other. I don't remember them targeting him quite yet.
Lane Duke had one. It was on the 10-yard comeback route, and then that Brady Hopper almost got an interception on it.
Gotcha.
It was the miscommunication.
That was a second target.
That's the first significant target is probably a good way to say it.
Looking for his first catch still. 3rd and 7. Pieper D with a chance to get off the field. Napkin rolling to his right. Lets it go. Caden Mills, outstretched hands, try to haul it in with the left hand. Would have been a tough go of it. Incomplete, and the New Braunfels punting unit onto the field.
Namkin ran out of options, tried to find his best friend, his wide receiver. I don't know if they're actually best friends, but on the football field they are. Best friend, Caden Mills. He was in double coverage, but he had Lane Duke right there in the middle of the field, 5 yards shorter, but he could have gotten the first down. But when you're flustered and you're trying to find your best option, you go for what you know.
So Cole Redding on to punt. A spiraling kick, takes a bounce at the 48 of New Braunfels. Downed at the Pieper 49 as that Unicorn special teams was worried about it taking a bounce back onto their side of the field. And so the Warriors offense, Noah, for all this talk, 4 turnovers in the first half, how much they struggled, not being in sync all the way through. For all that talk, here they are with a chance to take a 2-touchdown lead on a good New Braunfels squad.
Yeah, I'm really, as we keep talking about it, it's like, wow, those guys just keep harping on all their mistakes. And it's like, well, yeah, they made a lot of them. That's why. But then they're up 28-21, so maybe we just need to be quiet about it.
Keith, Drake, is that a fumble or is that incomplete? Official's going to say he caught it.
Wow.
So he battered it around. And after it was batted around for a while, Drake is able to come down with it. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
That must have been one heck of a halftime speech. That's all I'm learning. That must have been a heck of a timeout speech. Wow.
Keith shotgun. Hamilton to his right. Gives to John. Cross to 40. Stopped it right around the 36. First down for the Warriors.
Head coach Nick Rogers on the sideline looked like he gathered up either him or his defensive coordinator. It wasn't Nick. Nick's off there. Defensive coordinator gathered the defense, gave him a little pep talk before they come back in. Hopefully some good jobs. I don't think they talked about lunch plans, though.
Not quite yet. 1st and 10, 6.5 to go. In quarter number 3. Pieper on top 28-21. Keith looking over the middle. Lets it go. Champagne's deep. Past two defenders. Isaiah Champagne has Caden Keith's third touchdown toss of the game.
Oh! Ha! That's unreal. Isaiah Champagne was almost to the track by the time he slowed down. He got caught up and bumped at first by the New Braunfels defense. Great initial coverage by them. And then the speed of Champagne to go through the defense, find an open seam, back of the end zone. Caden Keith, holy cow.
Logan Lopez's extra point is true. 35-21, the Warriors up by 2 touchdowns. We're back after this right here on the Warriors Network. They are just ridiculous. We're talking about that Pieper Warriors offense and the individual talent. Isaiah Champagne, Noah, coming down with a 36-yard touchdown pass over the shoulder, running out of real estate. None of it mattered. He gets a touchdown, Noah, and they're up by 2 touchdowns just like that.
I think you just lose words to describe both how bad this game was for them and how good this game is for them. It's just both. It's unreal, the dichotomy of which we're living in.
Kickoff again, a touchback. So New Braunfels first and 10, and here's where things get, I think, Noah, if you're New Braunfels, you can go one more possession with the, look, we ran the ball well in the first half. We don't deviate from that. We're only down 2 touchdowns. We get a score here, and we take some time off the clock. It's a 1-score game late in the third or into the fourth quarter. That's fine. We'll take that every day of the week against this Pieper team. If you don't get a score here, though, that's where things that's where Pieper tends to really take full advantage. And speaking of their defense really beginning to turn it on right now, Caleb Gale in the backfield, extremely disruptive, and so 2nd and 10 following a play that went right back to the line of scrimmage.
I've got an idea for a new nickname for Caleb Gale. I don't know if he has one or not, but I'm going to submit one. And Nick Rogers, if you're listening, I would love for you to take this under consideration. Brick wall. That's what I'm going
to. Over the middle, deep. Caden Mills, but he's got 3 Pieper defenders back there. In addition to Caden Mills, in the vicinity was Grant Franklin. Now there's a penalty marker in the offensive backfield.
It was a little bit confusing exactly who was throwing to. I think Grant Franklin, but it was a duck. That was not a great ball by Ignamkin.
Well, the official signaling holding, I'm assuming because it's back here, it's going to be holding on the offense, and it is. And so then a New Braunfels offense moving backward. And just to finish that thought I was starting to touch on earlier, Noah, it's just this is where you get the feeling the game really can turn on this possession. I know there's 5:30 left in the third quarter. I know it may sound silly for me to say that because there's plenty of football left, but this feels crucial. New Braunfels, if they can't score, and then Pieper does answer, you're now looking at a 21-point game, and now the floodgates begin to open. Speaking of, that Pieper defense getting there in a hurry. Grant Oling, the first of the Warrior defenders to the ball.
Thor Mickelbust also in the midst, which he's a full name person. There's some people who are full name people. Thor Mickelbust, are you kidding me? What a name. He's absolutely a full name person. Add that to the list of great full name people that you will reference and think about for the next 2 days, Thor Mickelbust. To continue on your thought, though, it is not ridiculous to think that because Pieper has gotten the ball twice in the third quarter, and they've scored twice. So it's not ridiculous to think that if Pieper gets the ball back, they score, and the Unicorns on their heels, third and forever, you've got to score something to slow down the Pieper Warriors.
Yeah, 3rd and 20, and whistles delay of game, so going back even further.
The first thought that came to my head was that this team is crumbling right now.
3rd down, 29. They need to get to San Antonio at this point. 16:04 and 4:10 to get the first down. Caden Mills crossing route to the 20. And then several Warrior defenders there to make sure that that play does not go any further. Bennett King able to force Mills out of bounds. Brings on the punting unit for the Unicorns.
Grant Oling got there right away at first, was able to stop Caden Mills, because Caden Mills takes 2 guys to bring him down. Which is unreal that he takes 2 guys to bring him down. Grant Oling got there first, and then Bennett King, the final blow. Unicorns to punt and give it right back to the Warriors.
Cole Redding standing at his own 8-yard line. 3:40 and counting remaining in the 3rd quarter. In trouble is Cole. And that Pieper offense is going to take over at the New Braunfels 15.
Chaos in Warrior Coliseum. Absolute chaos. Cole Redding, I don't know about you. I could be so wrong. But it looked like he had time to get that punt off, so that had to have potentially been a fake punt gone so awry, because he had time to punt off that football. Would it have gone deep? No. Would it have gone off? Absolutely. I bet that was a potential fake punt, or Cole Redding didn't want to get hit, and he was like, I gotta just take this and go. Pieper in touchdown zone.
At the 16 of New Braunfels, Keith. And around the pitch, Champagne in the open field. Need we say more? Touchdown, Pieper. They are relentless when they get going.
Champagne toast, baby. Number 3 of the night for Isaiah Champagne. 1 rushing, 2 receiving touchdowns with a couple of great, and I emphasize great, blocks by Braden Sekaleo and Andrew Grindstaff. Big man out in the flats doing the dirty work.
Logan Lopez makes it 42-21. 3:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Warriors have begun. Actually, you can take out began. They have blown this thing wide open. We're back after this on the Warriors Network.
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us. Hui, Western Original.
The Pieper Warriors set to kick off following their 3rd touchdown inside of 9 minutes in the 2nd half. They've turned what was a 21-21 game into a 42-21 affair. Here's Cole Redding. He can take it to the house. Knocked out of bounds before he got to midfield, but a good return for a New Braunfels squad that needs everything it can get right now after it's been hit by 3 haymakers by the Warriors to start this 2nd half.
There's at least some electricity and some life on the New Braunfels side. I was getting a little worried about him. Those Unicorns trying to find a little more magic in the 3rd quarter. I mean, you've got 3 touchdowns that you just watched go back to back to back by the Pieper Warriors. And now you're Clayton Nampkin. You're sitting in shotgun. You're at the 48-yard line, and you can see that end zone. You want it so badly, but you haven't been able to get there.
Nampkin gives to Brock Stewart, and again, that Warriors defense, they're in a hurry behind the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him forward progress, say he got back to the line, so 2nd and 10 at the 48.
Looked like Brendan Hinojosa and our guy, Raj Lopez, was down in the mix there. Nothing for New Braunfels. That run game that they were so sure of and that was tested and true has not been working, Pieper's forcing the Unicorns to figure it out and throw, and they haven't been taking the bait.
And pushing New Braunfels out of its comfort zone. Caden Mills, their top gun, to the 45. First down for the Unicorns, so a big play there as they move the sticks. Now into Pieper territory. Actually, short of the first down, about 3 yards short. My bad. So 3rd and 3 at the Pieper 45.
Crafty and shaky. He shook 2 tackles, and then it took 2 guys to bring him down. Caden Mills is starting to get a little bit more involved in this football game. Earlier in the last possession, he was looked to by Nampkin. This time, he gets a catch for about 6-7 yards, and now he's starting to get some momentum with this Unicorns offense.
On 3rd and 3, it's Brock Stewart. Met behind the line, and a huge tackle on the other end. Will Potts.
First guy there, Brendan Hinojosa. Not a starter, but a workhorse. That dude has been in the Unicorns' backfield so often in this 3rd quarter. He's been causing mayhem for the Unicorns. And now Cole Redding, his right foot's got to be getting a little tired.
He's standing at his own 37, awaits the punt snap. And a possession has started with promising field position, ends with a 3 and out. Grindstaff watches the punt bounce harmlessly at right around the 24-yard line, downed by Patrick Freeberg at the 40.
You think the Warriors score a touchdown in 1:17?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't. Honestly, if you made me put money on it right now, I'd say, yeah, they score.
Do you want to bet some imaginary dollars?
Well, I mean, we are watching the Unicorns play, so
and
I guess it's.
I took ideas in math, so I can make up some stuff.
That's
too.
right.
we can make this happen.
We can do ideas of a bet, if you will. 1:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. Keith, that one almost a pick 6. If Caleb Palomo is able to hold on, we're looking at a 42-27 ball game with the extra point to come.
Nobody was in front of him.
No.
Not a soul. Casper. That's it. That was the only person in front of Palomo. Oh, he wants that back so badly.
Now, I say if he's able to hang on, it's easy for me to say. Him closing with that speed at that rate, not an easy catch. But he was there to break it up. Keith again, out route. Champagne not able to hold on.
This is the Pieper Warriors offense that we saw in the first half, even in the first quarter, where you've got a bad throw by Keith, bad decision to throw it right in the area of Palomo, where he's closing speed. He's literally showing that he's right there. Keith makes a bad throw. Champagne, great throw, can't hold on to the football. And now you've got 3rd and 10, which is reminding us that, yes, we've talked about how good they are at football, but it's showing us pictures of first quarter Pieper Warriors.
Definitely something that Coach Nick Rogers can harp on. Film session throughout the week. Keith going deep. Just overthrown. He was looking for Ethan Palmer. I think that's the first target for Palmer. And Piper's going to put it away. And just like I said, I don't think they'll score in 1:17.
No, I have the receipts. I know what it is. Put it in the comments. Don't call Hector a liar. Just don't call him a truther.
It's a good thing this game's not going to be archived on YouTube or anything.
It's a good thing nobody's watching us. That's probably it might get in a lot of trouble.
4th and 10. Piper forced to punt. Pooch kick as he's running. Gets across the 30. I believe that's Redding. It was. Not only handles punts, but handles punt returns for the Unicorns. He got across the 30 to right around the 32.
That was backup QB Carter Norsworthy, who handles most of the punting duties for the Warriors. I know your coach is going to yell at you for not following the play call. I know that. I understand that. I'm not oblivious to that. But he could have ran for the first down. He had room to go and make that happen. He might have had to make one move to make a tackle miss, but other than that, he could have gotten that. That would have been unreal.
With 48 seconds to go, Nampkin takes a shotgun snap, rolls right, Did Grant Franklin catch that? Official saying yes, he did. So he's at the 40.
Unicorns looking to end their third quarter lull. Maybe a touchdown before the third quarter ends, but I think you're excited just to keep the ball by the time the third quarter's over.
It's a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 for Namkin. Twins to each side. Movement by the Pieper defense. This will be a free play. So Namkin lets it fly. Again looking for Franklin. Well out of bounds, but New Braunfels will benefit from the penalty.
Third time on a hard count that Namkin's gotten that D line for the Warriors to bite, and he's gotten 3 free plays out of it, which is awesome. But on the first one and then this recent one, the third one, hasn't been able to connect. That second one was that beautiful throw on the right sideline to Caden Mills.
Here's the official call. It is indeed offsides on Pieper. 2nd and 2 becomes 1st and 10. At their own 45. 35 seconds left, so because New Braunfels doesn't run at the pace that Pieper does, you would think that this will probably be the final play of the third quarter, excuse me.
First quarter in the second half.
There we go. First of the 2 quarters in half number 2. Namkin, sideline, picked! Hopper across midfield, across the 40 near the 35. Still on his feet. No whistles yet. There they are.
Wow! This is a showcase of how to play football. Pieper Warriors in the third quarter coming alive. Looking for Lane Duke. Brady Hopper said, no way. He did the exact thing that Palomo was hoping to do for the Unicorns on that other possession by the Warriors. And then he took Caden Mills on a backpack ride for about 10 yards.
And after Jackson Hopper returns that one to the New Braunfels 38, it's 1st and 10 for the Warriors with 18 seconds remaining before we start the fourth quarter.
Just launch it to Champagne in the end zone. That's just end the third quarter like that.
Champagne's in the slot. The 3 receivers to the far side. Keith throws it away.
They literally, not to say I was right and be Tony Romo, but that's literally what they did, where Champagne was trying to potentially run his route. He went on the outside instead of cutting in. Keith rolled to his left. He had Ethan Palmer as well. Both those guys were gunning for the end zone, but great defense by the Unicorns forced him to throw it away.
Second and 10 from the 38 now. Hamilton handoff. Give him a couple on what will be the final play of the third quarter. Pieper with the ball and a 21-point lead as we enter the fourth quarter. We're back after this right here on the Warriors Network. Pieper, a 42-21 lead.
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!
Fourth quarter action. Pieper Warriors right here on the Warriors Network with a 3rd and 8. Caden Keith over the middle. Complete to the 25. John Hamilton on the receiving end of a play that results in another Pieper first down.
Rare catch for John Hamilton in 6 games. He had 14 receptions, 138 yards, averaging about 23 yards per game, which is pretty good, but rare catch from John Hamilton.
Sideline, they were looking for Palmer. Incomplete. So Ethan still looking for his first catch of the ball game.
So far, it's been Grindstaff outside of the one from John Hamilton. Grindstaff, Champagne. Those are the two guys that have been the only ones with receptions for the Warriors.
Here comes the third play of the final quarter. Hamilton in motion. Gets the ball, coming across the 20. Tackled forward. And so they're going to give him the ball at exactly the 20. That means 3rd and 4.
If you're the Warriors, you have to consider potential 4-down territory right here. Because if you score right here, the game's maybe over, but it's for sure over if you score a touchdown. New Braunfels could not figure out how to score a touchdown so far in the second half.
Pass complete. Grindstaff near sideline. First down, Warriors.
Grindstaff just taken to the ground by number 7 on the Unicorns, Cole Redding. I mean, he slammed him to the ground and then waited until he got up. Then he was like, okay, now it's my time to get up. But great play by Grindstaff. Great route, wide open in the flat.
Caden Keith in that Warrior offense looking to the sideline. On the verge of taking a 4-touchdown lead. Remember, this was tied at 21 at the half. And we're only a minute into quarter number 4. Handoff, Hamilton coming right, cuts it up inside. Right around the 5-yard line, maybe 1 yard beyond it.
On the far side in the back of the end zone, Evan Drake, he blocked his guy all the way to the back of the end zone, and then after the whistle blew, maybe a little before the whistle blew, chucked him. He pushed him all the way back there, way beyond the point of necessity. Like, he just all the way back there. It was unreal.
Pieper can get a first down without needing a touchdown. 2nd and 3 at the 4. Hamilton, not necessary. John Hamilton from 4 yards out, 48-21. And the Pieper Warriors just pulling away and have essentially started to say goodnight to the New Braunfels Unicorns.
Second tutty on the night for John Hamilton. Instead of on the outside, he shows, hey, I can go inside too. And then that hefty, and I say hefty with a capital H, offensive line for the Pieper Warriors. That only happens because they make a hole as wide as you can drive an F-350 through. Wild stuff here in Warrior Coliseum.
Extra point, up and through. We're back after this. Pieper in command on the Warriors Network. When New Braunfels Unicorn running back Brock Stewart scored from 6 yards away with 3:55 to go in the first half, the Unicorns had a 21-13 lead. Since then, the Warriors have gone on a 36-0 run. And so with 10:22 remaining in the ballgame, they kick off with a 49-21 lead.
That's the run? That's unreal.
36-0.
That, again, good math. That's good.
You know,
that's the main talking point tonight. Is good math.
Ideas of math have really come through tonight.
That's a wild, and it's not even like the Warriors offense has totally figured it out yet, because they haven't. This isn't the normal Pieper Warriors offense that we're used to seeing, and yet they're still scoring points because, to your point that you made earlier, when you've got talented dudes, you end up figuring it out.
1st and 10 for the Unicorns. The give is to Blaine Scott. I believe that's Blaine's first carry of the ball game. 3 yards there.
Switching up the mojo. Sometimes you just put some guys in to switch up the mojo. And it's like, hey, this might make something happen, and there might be something happening with Stewart. We have no idea. But sometimes you just throw another guy, and it's like, hey, just let's be crafty. Let's just make something happen, throw him off a little bit.
Well, this Pieper offense has scored 56 a week ago in the 19-point win at Seguin. As Namkin airs it out deep right, looking for Caden Mills. Caden comes down with it. Inside the 25, Caden Mills doing what he usually does for this Unicorn offense, a big play. And so a much-needed big chunk of yardage for these Unicorns. They're going to have it 1st and 10 at right around the 23 of Pieper.
Bangarang for Caden Mills. Namkin chucked that football in the air, and my immediate thought was, bad idea, he's in double coverage. But he somehow dropped that in between the two defenders, and Mills came up with it, and now you've got a 1st and 10 almost inside the red zone.
Blaine Scott again. Not a whole lot there. A couple, though. So, no, I mentioned the 56 that these Warriors scored on Seguin last week. They had the week before off, so prior to that, they scored 39 against Smithson Valley. Before that, they scored 35 against Wagner, put 42 up on Davenport, scored 38 on Pieper. Namkin, Caden Mills takes a big hit as that one was over his head.
Cash Maroney doing some good stuff on defense. That's got to be the best analysis of all time. Great stuff on defense. Talking about that hit that we saw earlier.
Oh, yeah. On Grindstaff on his
yes,
side?
on Grindstaff. I was trying to remember who it was. It was on Catcher Kyle. That's who it is.
Yeah.
Wonderful name. Catcher Kyle. He said, Cash. He was like, whatever you can do, I can do better.
3rd down. Unicorns needed 8 yards for the 1st down. Again, Stewart. Blaine Scott. Short of the 1st down, but if you're New Braunfels, this is 4-down territory, right? Field goal doesn't do you much good when you're down 28. And there's only 8:45 and counting remaining in the ball game.
Field goal is a drop in the bucket. You don't need a drop in the bucket. You need the bucket to lose some water.
4th, and we'll call it 5. Namkin keeps, lets it go flat. 1st down across the 10 near the 5. A diving effort and a touchdown on the other end. Jordan Rodriguez into the act.
Wow. Backup running back Jordan Rodriguez was waiting for him to maybe come into the game. Caught it in the flat from Namkin, and he Lambo leaped from about the 3-yard line. He jumped from the 3 or the 2 in full extension, cranked the touchdown. Unicorns fighting their way back into this ball game.
Liam Weaver makes this a 49-28 game, so the Unicorns not going quietly. We're back after this. 8:24 remaining in the ball game right here on the Warriors Network. Well, we were taking you through the Pieper offensive output leading up to that score for New Braunfels in a game that the Warriors lead 49-28 right here at Warrior Coliseum. Points by game for the Warriors this season, 38 in the season opener against Bernie, 38 in a victory against Johnson, 42 in beating Davenport, 35 against Wagner, 39 against Smithson Valley, 56 last week. Onside kick recovered by New Braunfels. And in the 49 tonight so far, and the Unicorns going to get the ball back, Noah?
The thought that I had going into the break, I didn't say it out loud, so nobody can believe me. Only God himself will know. But the thought that I had was, man, wouldn't it be crazy if they did an onside kick? I was like, nah, there's no way, because the Warriors are going to be all over that. And they did exactly what I thought they were going to do, which nobody can validate, but I'm very proud of myself in this moment, I might add. And they got it. This might be borderline. That ball kind of went to the 10, and then it bounced back, and then he kind of grabbed it at like the 9.5-yard line, but they're going to give it to him anyways.
Well, from ideas of math to ideas in your head. Either way it works. At the 50, Napkin airing it out, and Caden Mills again. There's a flag. They're going to get Warriors for defensive holding or pass interference, one of the two.
There's lots of ideas. That's all we're saying here. There's a few ideas to float around. Who's to say they're all correct?
So here's the thing. We've been kind of surmising and projecting the entire broadcast, mainly on Piper's behalf, because, for most of that first half, the thought was, what if? There's the defensive holding call on Piper. What if in terms of if Piper didn't turn it over? What if they could get the offense in sync? What if Champagne and Keith were on the same page? Well, let's what if it right now with New Braunfels. They get a score. Let's say they get 7. It's a 2-touchdown game with roughly 7 minutes to go because there's 8:19 remaining now. You assume it'll take them a minute, if that, to score. Movement again on the Piper line. There's another penalty. Whistles blow the play dead. They're going to get New Braunfels, though. False start.
That's the second. It's funny that the hard count has gotten the Warriors 3 times, and it's gotten the Unicorns twice, which you're still in the positive, but you're losing a lot of yards on offense. A lot is 5, and 5 does matter. But now you've got 1st and 15. You've still got momentum, but it's maybe a little bit less. But it also hurts when the band is right next to you and blaring. That also hurts.
1st and 15 at the Piper 45. Namkin lets it go quickly. Logan Duke looking to make a move before he steps out of bounds.
Duke right there. Tried to make a little move on the sideline, get shifty, and he just stepped right out. He almost hit number 33, Jordan Rodriguez, in the flat, and he had another out route just a little bit higher, and that was Lane Duke. And Jordan Rodriguez comes out. We're missing Stewart. Stewart hasn't been in this ball game in one possession so far.
Yep.
It's been Rodriguez.
Yeah, this is the second possession in which we haven't seen Stewart. Following the Lane Duke reception on the previous play. Toward the sideline, that one broken up. Credit Bennett King defensively.
Also, as we were immediately talking about Stewart, he stepped out onto the football field, so he's okay. It really honestly must have been a mojo switch. That's my bet for head coach Mulder.
There is Stewart, number 26. A big 3rd and 9 for these Unicorns. Clock stopped at 8:05. They're down 3 touchdowns. Just scored to get to this point after Piper had reeled off 36 straight points dating back to late in the second quarter. Namkin, sideline. Lane Duke again. First down yardage for the Unicorns. They move the chains.
Namkin dropped back and was staring down Lane Duke the entire time. He didn't move to his second option. He just stayed on Lane Duke, trusted his guy. Lane Duke kept the route, got open, and he hit him on the comeback route. You get a first down, and you keep marching.
At the 25, Namkin with trips to his right. Pumps that way. Over the middle. Looking for Caden Mills. Picked by Jackson Hopper, his second of the game. Jackson's bringing it out. Still on his feet. Tackled it right around the 20-yard line.
Holy cow, Jackson Hopper. Namkin had a great play design gifted to him. Pump fake to Mills. Mills' little hitch and go was running up the middle, tried to find him across the middle, didn't hit him off of a high throw that hung in the air for far too long for Namkin.
Well, penalty on Piper, I believe it is post-possession now. The interception will stand. It's just that Piper will start at its own 3. And here's the thing. The American Interior sponsors our offensive and defensive players of the game. Jackson Hopper's making a case for defensive player of the game.
Absolutely. He is absolute. And you know who else is making a case for offensive player of the game? Senior Hamilton. He's been great. Hamilton, 2 rushing touchdowns on the evening.
It's Jackson's brother Brady who gets the call here. 9 on 1st and 10.
It's got to be a cool household where you've got an offensive starter and a defensive starter. It's not the Kelseys, but let's call it the Kelseys. It's the Pieper Warriors version, the San Antonio, Texas version of Travis and Jason. So I'll say it because I know we're all thinking it. They're coming for your job. Expect their podcast soon. That's what I'm envisioning right now.
Brady going to be here at Pieper for another year. He's just a junior. Jackson, a senior. It's Brady who gets the ball here.
I mean, that just takes the air right out of your balloon. Your balloon had some air in it. It deflated. It was completely flat. And then you blew it up a little bit. It was like, man, there's some life. Our offense is moving. Defense just made a stop. Onside kick. Let's go. And then you throw a pick.
After picking up 8 on his first carry, Hopper gets the first down in his second consecutive tote. So 1st and 10 now with the 16. And these Warriors totally content to put the ball in Hopper's hands. 6.5 and counting remaining in the ball game. Pieper on its way to 7-0, 4-0 in that all-important district play with a 49-28 lead on a New Braunfels squad that also came in undefeated at 3-0 in district play.
Warriors have got to be content just to run out the clock because you can punt it away. New Braunfels hasn't shown that they've been able to connect on a big play outside of one to Caden Mills, which was a free play. And so outside of that, New Braunfels has not been able to show that they can move the ball efficiently in big chunks. So you're totally content to just punt this ball away, regardless of a first down or not, if you're Pieper.
Isaiah Champagne on the near sideline. He was forced out of bounds after a first down, so the clock stops with 5:56 remaining. Isaiah's rebounded, as has Caden Keith, nicely after rough starts. And both instrumental in this 49-28 lead, Keith. There's Drake. Nice job, Cole Redding, getting Drake down upon initial contact. It's not something that happens often.
I mean, the storyline of this game is going to be the blitzkrieg of touchdowns that happened for the Warriors. 3 in 9 minutes. You're averaging 3 minutes a drive. That's unreal. That is unreal. Not to count the interception that also happened, not to count the turnover that also happened where they got the ball at the 21. Just this display of being mentally tough for the Pieper Warriors.
It's what they do. And on 2nd and 9, Brady Hopper gets the carry, and then smartly, as he was heading toward the outside of the hash marks, cut it back in to stay in bounds. So he not only picks up the first down, he keeps the clock running. Ball now at the 36.
And I hate to be that football guy that harps on mental toughness, but that just is what exactly is happening. Where the Warriors were not down and out, but they were making a bunch of mistakes, but their mental toughness to stay in the football game and not give up.
Hopper, some room, across the right side, and then patiently waiting for his blockers, gets near the 45. Another 8 yards on 1st and 10. And a drive that's been Hopper for 6, Hopper for 4, Hopper for 8, Hopper for 3 continues.
Hopper's just hopping.
2nd and 2 following a gain of 8 more. Clock under 4:30. Hopper to Keith's right. Caden gonna throw on this play. Sideline, Grindstaff, he's out of bounds.
This Unicorn defense just looks tired. They look like they are worn out, where you're giving up big chunk after big chunk after big chunk, and you're trying to keep step with the speedy man Isaiah Champagne. You're trying to keep up with Grindstaff. You're trying to keep up and go toe-to-toe with that hefty offensive line, and you're trying to keep an eye on John Hamilton and Brady Hopper, and then it's like, oh yeah, Caden Keith can also do whatever he wants to. This defense has got to be exhausted.
On 3rd and 2, Hopper gets the carry. Enough for a first down. He got 3.
Hopper with the carry for another Warrior.
And at this rate, the way that Pieper's marching down the football field, just chunk after chunk after chunk, small ones but still effective, they might go down and score a touchdown. I mean, that is what's happening, and the defense is just crumbling and the Warriors are able to mold the clay however they want.
You know what's interesting about Brady Hopper, Noah, is every time I watch Pieper play, and this is the third Pieper game I've had the pleasure of doing this season, as Keith rose to his right and then stays in bounds. Again, smart by Caden there not to throw it away at this point. Time more of an ally, Time more of an ally than down in distance. So he'll take the sack, or not even take the sack. He got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10. But what's impressive about Hopper is every time I watch him play, he's effective. And so that's not the funny part, right?
Okay.
Where I'm going
I'll
with
save
this, as Keith now lines up in shotgun, boy, they hurry up and get to the line even when they're trying to salt away a 21-point lead in the 4th quarter. Hamilton to carry this time, couple yards. So even though he's effective and you see he seems to get yardage, a good amount of yardage every game, you sit there and you look at the 276 through 6 games. It's not spectacular, right? It's not going to make – it doesn't jump off the page. But I think a big reason why he's got the only, in quotation marks, the 276 is because they have so many big plays and they score so quickly that the opportunity isn't there for him to have a drive where he gets the ball 6 times and ends up with 54 yards on that drive alone. So because of that ball almost picked and then not able to be handled on the Pieper end either. Bennett King playing a little bit of offense out there. No, Ethan Palmer. Thought it was a 10. It's an 18. Apologies. Ethan Palmer not able to haul it in. So 4th and 9. And on the field is Carter Norsworthy, the backup quarterback you mentioned a little while ago, who also handles punting duties for Pieper. He's standing at his own 41 with 2:34 remaining. Takes the snap, fakes, there's the throw, caught. Hamilton across the 40, first down, Pieper.
Hamilton caught it short of the first down marker. Carter Norsworthy, gutsy throw. And he said, I'm not even worried about it. I'm actually going to shed this block really quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the first down for us so that way we can keep the ball and, end the football game. That feels like a really good idea. John Hamilton, come on.
At the 37-yard line, and Pieper starts to salt this thing away. New Braunfels does have all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Do they start using them is the question. Or does Coach Brad Mulder say, you know what, we're down 21. Let's just let this thing end. Grindstaff in motion. Caden Keith, he's going to throw it. Across the middle, Evan Drake, incomplete. Big hit. Drake didn't like it.
Oh, little drama. Gotta love it. You love a drama storyline. Landon Jackson, absolute hammer time of a hit, which was unnecessary and after the fact. But you're a little frustrated on defense. Totally get it. Totally understand. You want to let off some steam. Evan Drake, he didn't like that. I wouldn't either. More on your thought where you said, hey, he's really effective, but it doesn't seem like he's given as many opportunities just because they're so good on offense. That tracks. That makes so much sense. When you said that, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because Brady Hopper, consistently really good. And you look at the touchdowns. Okay, John Hamilton owns touchdowns as far as rushing. He's got 8 on the season. He's got 2 more tonight, so give him 10. John Hamilton. And he's got more yards. He's got more carries. But it's also because they've just got 2 great options. If John Hamilton wasn't there, right, Brady Hopper would have more touchdowns and more yards. But you got to spread the wealth when you got guys like that.
Right. And so more often than not, he'll finish a night with like 13 carries for 70 yards or what have you. Caden Keith, meanwhile, in trouble. Huge sack. But again, letting the clock run. Did not want to throw it away and stop that clock. And the clock, sure enough, does continue under 120. And so he'll have those kinds of games where you look at the stat line and he's like, oh, he had 9 carries for 48 yards. But they were 48 yards that mattered within the span of the game because he's so good at what he does and he serves a purpose for this team that he gives them exactly what they need.
Absolutely. That's one of the key role players that you just look at and you think about, and it's like, okay, that guy's not going to wow you on the stat sheet, but you know who he is going to wow every single time? Coaches. Coaches love a good glue guy, good role player. That just gets coaches fired up.
We're under a minute to go, and on 4th down, Norsworthy back on the field. This time you would assume to actually punt it away, although he does take a delay of game penalty. That intentional. And the clock does stop at 33 seconds, 32.8 if you will. But it's almost, this is funny, it's almost the opposite effect of a lot of folks watching, who were also Warriors fans or New Braunfels fans were also San Antonio Spurs fans on the NBA side. And to me, David Robinson was a guy that he'd play a game and then he'd be like, oh, he had an all right game. And then at the end of the game, it was like 29 points, 14 rebounds, 8 blocks, and 4 assists. And you're like, he did that? Like, he was just so – really? You don't to me, Brady Hopper's almost the opposite effect. You come out of game and you're like, oh, yeah, Brady Hopper easily rushed for like 88 yards on just the 9 carries. And you look and you're like, oh, he had 11 carries for 48 yards. But what we just saw makes you think that because of how key he was in terms of what they needed him to do. Just kind of a little analogy, if you will, to how it's funny how players are effective in different ways and go about showing it in different ways. Cole Redding fielding the punt at his own 13, still on his feet, reversing field. He's dangerous. Personally saw him return a punt for a touchdown last year, and he's got a shot here. Cole Redding, a chance to go 93 yards, and he does.
What a weird football game. I love it. Weird football. All about it. Why and how? Like, why, one, did he reverse and not just go down and get his offense a chance? Got no idea. How do you allow that to happen if you're the Pieper Warriors? And also, we've got 20 seconds left in the football game. So, like, there's nothing else that's going to happen after this. Maybe an onside kick. But are you kidding me? What a weird football game. I'm glad I'm here with you, Hector.
Liam Weaver on to make it 49-35, and then Shirley, even though there's just 19 seconds left, we're seeing an onside kick immediately following. Extra point is true. Hey, let's take a quick break, guys. 49-35, 19 ticks, back with what we would assume would be the conclusion of tonight's broadcast right here on the Warriors Network.
Who's going to decide if this generation carries on our way of life? All of us.
On a night in which Pieper turned it over 4 times in the first half, yet still found itself tied at 21, why not have a game that ends with a 90-plus yard punt return in the waning moments? 49-35 our score. Pieper in control. New Braunfels about to kick it away. An onside kick, you would assume, even though there's 19 ticks left. Hey, you don't know unless you try. And so here we go. The Unicorns set to kick it away in a game. Pooch kick, so kind of the same difference, hoping that maybe Pieper doesn't field. They do, and the Warriors will take over at their own 39-yard line for what should be the last possession of the ball game.
Expecting maybe a shorter Pooch kick or maybe a little something more interesting. I think that was just a, hey, we're done.
Yes. It could have. You're right. It could have been. Maybe it just wasn't executed the way they firmly wanted. Went a little longer than they would have liked. But yes, academic at this point because the Pieper Warriors will snap at their own 44 and then sit at 7-0, including 4-0 in district play.
State bound. I'm calling it. Warriors have got to be state bound in 5A.
Every reason to think they are on that track. Impressive game after game, even when they're not impressive all the way through, they're still impressive in the way they bounce back from relatively lackluster showings. Post-game handshakes. Noah Torrey, your final thoughts on this ball game?
Final thought. I said it during the Cole Redding punt return. Weird. That's just, if I were to pick one word to describe this football game, it was weird. Just in the way that Pieper handled the first quarter, and then in the way they responded in the second quarter, and then they kept making mistakes. And then that blitzkrieg, to use that word again, of touchdowns within 9 minutes in quarter number 3 to then make this their highest scoring ball game all season. And then you end with a Cole Redding touchdown. And no touchdowns in the third quarter for the New Braunfels Unicorns. Just a weird football game, gritty, and the Warriors capitalized on mistakes and made up for mistakes. The defense of the Unicorns played great in that first half. I don't want to blow by that. They had a great first half, but you can only contain explosives for so long before they light up and go off.
And so we end tonight with our American Exteriors players of the game. First, defensively, Noah, who you got?
Jackson Hopper, 2 INTs. What a night for Jackson Hopper. Playing great deep, playing great in coverage. We'll give it to Jackson Hopper.
And offensive player of the game as sponsored by American Interiors.
Gotta go John Hamilton. 2 tutties on the evening. Fantastic performance by John Hamilton. He was one of the few guys on offense that didn't have a mistake for the Pieper Warriors. Kept it clean, kept it consistent. Let's go John Hamilton.
And so, for Noah Tor, I'm Hector Ledesma saying good night on behalf of all the great folks at Wick Productions who make the Warriors Network go. Have a good night and enjoy this victory, a win that sees the Pieper Warriors go to 7-0, 4-0 in district play, and then, yes, continue that march toward a long playoff run that so many around here and around greater San Antonio, and some would say around the state, expect them to go on. Good night. We'll see you next week, and have a great rest of your weekends.
Not the fun part of being a dad, but I have to speak to you about something that is concerning me.
Concerning you?
Yeah. Heard you and your mother talking about this Arlo fella, and
Arlo?
I wasn't eavesdropping. He's always watching you. His videos are secure. This guy sounds like a creep.
It's not.
Your privacy is very important to me, and I think you need to make better decisions when it comes to boys. And this Arlo is not a boy that I think you should be dating.
You're dating someone?
Yeah, Arlo. I heard you guys talking about him.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Dad, Arlo's the name of the new security cameras that we got from our service provider. We were talking about how great they are and how safe they make me feel. Arlo's not a boy.
Well, that's a boy's name.
Oh, boy.
Ah, not a boy. Apparently, we just learned that it's a camera. Named after a boy. Why don't you name it Peter?
Hey Piper Nation, I'm Dr. Daniel San Martin, your neighborhood board-certified orthodontist. My family and I live here in Kinder Ranch, and I have been proudly building Confident Smiles since 2012. We're excited to say that our new office is now located on Borgfeld Road. At San Martin Orthodontics, I personally see every patient at every appointment, and I'm the only doctor you'll see throughout your entire treatment. If your family needs orthodontic care, we'd love to earn your trust with a complimentary consultation. We hope to see you soon, and go Warriors!